If you've been on social media at all, you know that we are right in the beginning of the great lock-in, or your winter arc, or that amazing time of September through December where everything just starts to feel warm and cozy and fresh, and I don't know, it's just the best time of the year. But I also know that sometimes you start strong, full of motivation and telling yourself that this time is when it's really all gonna lock in. But a few weeks into it, your old habits start creeping back in, and the perfectionism and the self-doubt and the overthinking is all kind of crashing down, and you crash out feeling behind, and suddenly you're stuck in that same cycle again. And deep down, you know it's not even about working harder. It's about breaking the habits that are keeping you stuck and finally stepping in to the identity that you've been craving. Hey girl, welcome back to our channel, or welcome if you're new here. I'm Monet, your mindset coach and tour guide to your higher self. And if you're not already subscribed, go ahead and subscribe right now so you never feel lost or like you have to figure it out all on your own again. And girl, if you clicked on this video, you're already feeling a little bit behind, so let's waste no more time and get right into it, because I want you to stop spinning your wheels and finally feel like the woman that is living her best for months. Step one is to stop arguing for your limitations. Neurons that fire together wire together. And when you rehearse the same excuse enough times, it stops being a story and it starts to be a fact about yourself. Because your reticular activating system, or RAS, goes to work collecting evidence to prove you right. And energetically, every time you say, oh, I can't because, it's like you're signing a contract with the old you. You're making a pact to stay that same version, and you box yourself into this version that you know you've already outgrown. An amazing example of this is Taylor Swift, because hello, we're Swifties over here. Taylor Swift was told so many times she couldn't switch genres, and if she had listened to all of that noise, there wouldn't have been a record-breaking, amazing, life-changing Eras tour that brought so many people joy. So instead of arguing for your limitations, try this. Whenever you feel that excuse come bubbling up, pause and ask, okay, but what if I could? Whatever your inner mean girl is whispering that you can't do, I want you to out loud say, but what if I did? And you don't need the plan yet, you just need to break that loop and that cycle of thinking that you can't. Which leads us to step two, which is to choose regulation over reaction. If we think of our body like a car, your nervous system is the driver. So when you're dysregulated, it's kind of like you're jerking the wheel back and forth. And willpower can't work because the system is offline. And even subtle stresses can kind of trick your body into thinking that you're not safe. And that's why a small little thing that doesn't seem like a big deal can trigger you and feel huge. This used to happen to me so much with getting hangxiety. I'm already introverted, but after a night out, I would go home and I would be overthinking and replaying every single conversation I had. And then I realized I was the only one criticizing me. All of the people I was meeting were not going home and talking about me. It just wasn't that deep. And once I dropped that assumption, I noticed most people actually liked being around me. And the ones who didn't, usually I didn't vibe with them either. So now when I prep for a night out, I take a minute and just remind myself of who I am, because I've worked way too hard to become her. I even keep a note in my phone called Bretman Rock, because Bretman Rock is iconic, and it has all of my favorite qualities about me. But I love this quote that I saw from him. I would say this is my self-love era, but girl, I always have love for myself. Make a list, and anytime you start feeling that overthinking anxiety, go check out why others are gonna love you too. When you regulate before you react, you'll notice that your choices shift from being in survival mode to being in your higher self mode. And speaking of your higher self mode, step 3 is to redefine success as a feeling instead of a milestone. Success is fun because you get dopamine, but your brain doesn't just release dopamine when you arrive at that end goal, at that successful milestone. It releases it whenever you feel progress. And that's why checking off a to-do list is so satisfying. Even if you add things after you've already did them and cross them off, you might get that little boost. The reason why is because you're getting a dopamine hit from that feeling of progress. But the problem happens when you define success as only being at the end point, because then your reticular activating system is going to start filtering out all the daily proof that you're successful or you're already succeeding. This past year in my life and in my business is the most successful I've ever felt. And for the first time ever, it wasn't tied to money or grades. It was from watching my clients transform. It was from seeing someone finally regulate or speak to themselves with kindness, or actually feeling like, hey, I made a difference in that person's life. And that is the kind of success that makes my nervous system light up. And it makes every part of my day easier because I'm excited to be here. If right now you're looking at your winter arc or your great lock-in and you are thinking that some big milestone, some big accomplishment is going to allow you to feel successful, I want you to consciously think, no. Every time I take a step towards that milestone, it's going to make me feel successful. And celebrate your daily progress. Because the more you do, the more your brain is going to learn that growth is safe and sustainable. And not only are you going to be getting dopamine, you're going to have serotonin, which lasts longer and makes you feel even better. Step 4 is to change your environment and not just your intentions. We've talked about the reticular activating system a lot. And one of the things that it thrives on is cues. So your reticular activating system is filtering all of your reality through what you see most often. If your environment is filled with old signals or routines that aren't really working for you, your reticular activating system is still noticing them, and it's going to keep proving that you're the old you because that's what it's programmed to do. And that is why things like vision boards matter so much, because you are strategically training your brain to be able to see that higher self version of you. You want to get so familiar with that higher self version that the old environment isn't really a good fit anymore. One of the best ways to do this is to make a vision board. You can make it at any time of year. Why not make one for your great lock-in and then set it next to the toilet? And this is my number one tip. This is the one thing I tell every single one of my coaching clients, no matter what, is your vision board needs to be right next to your toilet, because you don't just glance at it once a day, you are seeing it constantly. Your bathroom is the one room that you use every single day in your house. So when your guard is down and your subconscious is more open at times like first thing in the morning or right before you go to bed, that repetition of seeing your vision is a game changer. But it doesn't just stop at looking at your vision board. Changing your environment, even by redecorating, can actually help you shift into a new identity. I have noticed recently that I remodeled the film room, and that was because I wanted to signal to my brain, okay, we're stepping in to the most successful season of our lives. And having boring white walls just wasn't going to work anymore. And let me tell you, I have been living in this room ever since. It feels so good. And if you are renting or you're not in the place where you can redecorate your space, even changing up where you're hanging out is an amazing way to shift your environment. But even something like going to Starbucks and working for a few hours at a coffee shop can change your environment and completely shift the vibe so that you start feeling like that new version of you. If you want a new reality, you have got to redesign at least one cue in your environment to let your reticular activating system and let your nervous system know, hey, we're a new person now. And when you do that, your brain will rise to meet what it sees. This next tip, I'm speaking directly to your inner mean girl and letting her know that she's fired. Because as of right now, we are talking to ourselves like a future bestie and not a past bully. When we look at the brain, your mirror neurons can't tell the difference between words from someone else and words from yourself. So every time you criticize yourself, your body treats it like a threat. Just like if I walked up to you and I said,
oh my god, you look horrible today, and you're a failure, and you suck, and you don't stick to anything,
you would be like, that's rude. That's crazy. She thought that she could do that. But why are you letting you do that to yourself? The next time you catch your inner mean girl being a total cow to you, literally stop her mid-sentence and choose that you're not going to be the villain of your own story. Making your brain a not safe place for bullies is one of the best things that you can ever do to yourself, Because when you love yourself, you're going to show up as a lovable, likable person, and other people are going to like you too. And I know that at first that's going to feel a little bit uncomfortable. So let's talk about step 6, which is committing to a micro discomfort every single day. Whether this is being nice to yourself for the first time, or taking on a new hobby, or even starting that side business, neuroplasticity thrives when you stretch. Every uncomfortable choice tells your brain, hey, discomfort doesn't equal danger. And once your brain is on board, let's bring your intuition on board. Intuitively, this is how you build self-trust. If you can survive doing something uncomfortable, then you will finally be able to stop doubting your capacity for more. I bet at the beginning of this video, one of the reasons that you're starting to feel not so locked in on the great lock-in is because you're doubting if you can even do the goals that you set for yourself. Let me tell you a few ways that I've chosen a micro discomfort to help me grow this week. And the first one is honestly this video. Let me tell you, today I woke up and I just was not feeling cute. I wasn't feeling like my best self, and I frankly didn't want to film a video. But I looked at my goals and I said, am I really going to let some mean girl energy thought decide what I'm doing for my whole day? No, of course not. So I'm filming when secretly maybe I'd rather be hiding. This week I also met with a brand new client, and she's one of the first clients I've ever had that didn't find me on social media and wasn't referred to me by somebody that I know. So this is a complete stranger. She's not part of our YouTube family. I met with her and it turned out she is absolutely our vibe. She would fit in perfectly with our little YouTube family. So of course she's going to be a great fit for me to coach. But I wouldn't have known that if I didn't push through that initial discomfort of, I don't know about a client who has no idea who I am. Each win that you rack up in your week makes you trust yourself more. It makes you respect yourself more, and it makes your confidence grow. Mel Robbins has a quote that I actually heard from Tess Barclay, and she says it's always best to make the harder choice in the moment because hard choices lead to an easy life and easy choices lead to a hard life. And I think that is actually incredible advice. So this week, pick one micro discomfort daily. Maybe it's to wear a bold lipstick, to have a tough conversation, or to take that Pilates class that you're feeling a little nervous about. And every single time you do it, it's going to teach your brain that you can do hard things and that you can be safe while doing them. So now that you're stretching and you're trying new things and you have a newfound confidence, step 7 is to track the evidence of your new self, of your higher self, of your bretman rock energy self. Your reticular activating system is always scanning for proof of whatever you already believe. So right now, you may have spent a lot of months telling yourself that you're lazy or you can't accomplish your goals or you always fall off track. And your reticular activating system is working overtime to prove you right. So now it's time to start telling yourself that you're disciplined, that you're amazing, that you stick to it, and you have all of the abilities to be successful. And once you tell it what the focus is, it'll start working to prove that right too. But we're going to help it along just a little bit by keeping a micro moments log. Start a note, and then every single day, write down 1 to 3 things that prove that thing. So if you're going to write, I'm disciplined, you can say, I'm disciplined because I walked on the treadmill instead of just sitting on my couch while I doom scrolled. Or if you're working on confidence, I am magnetic because I met someone today and she asked if we could go out for coffee. Over time, these tiny entries in your micro moments log are going to flip your reticular activating system's filter. And instead of searching for all of those mean contradictory things that you believed about yourself in the past, your brain is going to be collecting all of the confirmation that the new you, the bretman rock you, the higher self you already exists. Try it with even just 1 sentence a day, and you're going to be amazed at how quickly your brain updates that story. Now, step 8, I thought about cutting out of this video because if you know me, you know that I love a multitask. But unfortunately, ChatGPT, our bestie, told me I should stop multitasking. And I was like, no, you're obviously crazy. I love multitasking. And then it was like, no, actually I'm right. And you would get more done if you just stayed focused. So I've been trying it out for the last few months. And unfortunately, our bestie ChatGPT was correct. When we're multitasking and we're switching tasks, you kind of can think of it as your computer. If you have 8 million tabs open and you have every app open and Spotify's running in the background, but you also have a YouTube video maybe running, switching the task isn't very efficient and it gets overwhelming and kind of exhausting. And in terms of your body, every time we're switching back and forth between roles or tasks, then it actually is burning up your glucose and it's making your system drain energy and feel more fried than fulfilled, which is crazy. And this is not an easy thing to switch out of because for years I've been the queen of doing everything in one day. By bedtime, I would truly feel like I had been put through the ringer, like I had been running a marathon and not even winning. And then I made a YouTube friend, but she told me that she never films and edits in the same day, and she recommended I try it. And because ChatGPT had just told me basically the same thing, I said, maybe this is something I should try. So I started theming my days, and I would have a day to create, and I would have a day to edit, and I would have a days for coaching, and then I had days for business stuff. And when my brain didn't have to be all of those roles all at once, I found that I started getting through things faster. And I also found that when I went to bed at the end of the day, I felt more satisfied instead of feeling scattered and like, what did I even do today? Like I was busy all day and for what? But what got done? So yes, sadly, we're putting multitasking to bed and start theming our days. And if you work a 9 to 5 and you're saying, oh, Monet, I can't theme my days, try time blocking your day out. Is maybe first thing in the morning, you check all your emails, get caught up. And then if you have a meeting, focus on the meeting and take notes. And then when you're back at your desk, focus on one task and try to really just pick an area of focus at each time of the day and let yourself monotask. It's going to feel so much calmer, but it's also more powerful because you're going to get faster and more efficient. And your reticular activating system is going to start seeing proof that you can finish things. So you will fall into bed at night not thinking, oh my God, would I even get done? You're going to be like, wow, we killed that. Now, speaking of falling into bed at the end of the day, another amazing way to break the habit of being yourself is to start rehearsing your future days. Your subconscious mind cannot tell the difference between something real and something imagined. So your brain wires the same pathways whether you're living through something or you're imagining it really vividly. A visualization or a hypnosis before bed, it primes your nervous system. So right before you're falling asleep, you're in the alpha or theta brainwave state. And that's the same state that we are in when we're kids and you're learning so much and you're forming new ideas and you're finding out how the world really works. And here is how we're going to use that to our advantage. When you're laying in bed and you're starting to get a little tired, I want you to play out a movie in your mind or journal it, whatever feels most natural to you, and live as delusionally as humanly possible. Think about your day if you woke up tomorrow and it went incredible. And I don't mean ignoring reality. I mean choosing to rehearse the reality that you're desiring. And go through your entire day. Lay there and you may fall asleep during this. That's totally fine. Your brain will pick up where you left off. Think about, okay, I woke up and I had plenty of time. Maybe you have a matcha for breakfast. Maybe you're driving and you only get green lights. Maybe somebody pays for your coffee when you're at Starbucks. Maybe your boss finally notices how hard you've been working, or somebody compliments how amazing you look in your outfit today. Go through the entire day because we're going right back to reticular activating system. It finds proof of what you already believe. Now this works, but don't just take my word for it. I have some receipts. Last year, I wanted to see Megan Thee Stallion in concert so bad. I wanted to go to the Hot Girl Summer Tour so desperately, but by the time I heard about it, it was sold out. And 1 week before her Las Vegas concert, I ended up getting tickets. Not only tickets, I got front row center, and I ended up getting pulled on stage with her. And it was truly incredible. And let's not even stop with Megan Thee Stallion. Let's talk about the Eras Tour. I was one of those people that was number but 1 bajillion on Ticketmaster the moment that the Eras Tour tickets dropped. But we did end up getting some seats to the Kansas City show. And the night we went turned out to be the night she premiered a music video. Taylor Lautner was there, Joey King was there. Travis Kelce was there. We didn't know about that at that time. I used to dream about getting to attend these type of events, and now I'm getting to go for free and I'm getting front row center. But part of that is because I knew that that was going to be my reality long before the evidence happened, long before anybody else thought I was anything more than delusional. So tonight, when you lay down in your bed, I want you to create a scenario that is beyond expectation, beyond what anybody else might think is reasonable. Rehearse the life that you are meant to be living, and keep doing it and keep doing it. And no, I don't see it in reality yet. That's none of my business. And I promise you will end up there, because when you visualize, your neurons fire as if it already happened. So make sure that all of your future memories are the things that you really truly align with. And last but definitely not least is to let rest be productive. Now we're gonna get a little sciencey and nerdy for a second, but stay with me. Your hippocampus is the part of your brain that keeps memories going. And as we know, your nervous system is the part of your body that regulates your emotion and your energy. And both of those repair and update themselves as you rest. Rest is like an exhale for you as a human and you as an energy source. And you need that exhale to have the space to keep expanding. And you'll notice this with some of the most successful people. If you look at Taylor Swift, she played the biggest tour in history. She did the Eras tour, but then as soon as the Eras tour was over, she vanished. We didn't see her for like 2 months. She didn't even post to Instagram. That's because she knows that rest is not a failure, it's a strategy. Now, I'm no Taylor Swift, but the world does not know I exist on Saturdays, and I love it. That blank space in my week is what lets me come back clearer and sharper and ready to serve. But also when you have that rest scheduled and your body knows, hey, I'm for sure going to get a minute to rest and digest and just not be on, you don't collapse into rest. You schedule it like you would a date. It's a date for yourself. So this week I want you to block out time for a nap or a sauna session or a walk or wandering around TJ Maxx with the iced chai, whatever is going to give your brain and your body a exhale and a moment to just rest and be. And the more that you honor your rest, the more your brain and your intuition start to reward you with energy and with insight and with alignment. I get all of my best ideas on Sundays, and that is no coincidence that it happens right after my rest day. It's because not only is my nervous system and my intuition and my brain revitalized, I feel bursting with energy. I feel like I'm just ready for the week to start. So try it yourself this week. Give yourself one raw day, even if it's just for a few hours, and then notice how it feels to come back to life re-energized, reinvigorated, ready for the rest of your week. Breaking the habit of being yourself does not mean burning everything down and starting over. It's choosing little tiny micro decisions over and over and over until the old version of us and the old autopilot that we're living in just doesn't fit anymore. So let's talk about your homework, and as always, choose what resonates and let it be simple and doable and supportive. This week, when you feel self-doubt creeping in, I want you to stop and say, but what if I could? Start arguing with yourself. What if I could? You never follow through. But what if I did? You're not going to work out every day this week. What if I do? You aren't ready to start that business. But what if I was? Every time your self-doubt starts an argument, say, but what if you're wrong? What if today is the day that you're wrong? Because every single person that you're looking up to right now had to tell themselves that at some point. They had some self-doubt whispering in their ear, and they said, but what if you're wrong? Next is to celebrate one micro win today. It could be little, it could be small. And then write down one piece of evidence that you're already becoming your higher self. You're already being amazing. And if you're ready to keep rewiring your brain and embodying your higher self, make sure that you're subscribed so you never feel lost or like you're figuring it out all on your own again. Drop in the comments which one of these habits you're most excited to take into your week. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, I will see you next time. Bye!